Hi, my name is Rochelle Sorensen, and I am a life coach for the parents of teenagers at the Inspired Teen. I am passionate about helping parents lead, inspire, teach, and connect with their teenagers. Today, I want to give you 10 tips for a happier teen. Teenagers experience a lot of emotions throughout the day. Sometimes they experience multiple emotions in a single minute, and it would be really nice if happiness popped up a little more often. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 essential oils. I have lime, elevation, citrus bliss, bergamot, which is one of my very favorites, and wild orange. Let's get started with my presentation. So 10 tips for a happier teen. When my youngest was 2 or 3, she had a major meltdown in the car. All of you have had toddlers know what I'm talking about. She was kicking and screaming, and I just got really frustrated, and I finally said, "You know that you can choose to be happy, right?" In a typical 2-year-old voice, she said, "I don't want to be happy." And I realized in that moment that that was a deep truth. We cannot force other people to be happy, and sometimes we don't even want to be happy. However, there are still things that you can do to influence your teen's happiness level, and we're going to talk about 10 of those today. Number 1, set the stage. I cannot overemphasize how important this is because our physical surroundings can affect our internal state before we even realizing that it's happening. So before your teen gets home from a long day of school or work, take just a couple of minutes to look around and set the stage. Are the blinds open? Are there shoes that they're going to trip on as they walk in the door? Is there a snack ready? Are there essential oils diffusing in your diffuser? This is a quick way to change the mood of the people who are walking in your home. Some of my favorites for happiness are Elevation and Citrus Bliss. Those are 2 blends that are made specifically for elevating your mood. And then my personal favorite combination is bergamot and lime. The 2 of those together are perfect for uplifting your mood, clearing away discouragement, and making room for light and joy. If you haven't tried that combination, put it in your diffuser today and see how you feel. Another thing that you can do is plan a healthy snack and then make sure you put down your phone and you are present and there as your teen walks in the door. The 15 most important minutes are the 5 minutes when your teen wakes up, the 5 minutes before they go to bed, and then the 5 or 10 minutes after they get home from either work or school. These transition periods are sometimes challenging and a lot of emotions can pop up, and they are a great time to try and connect with your teenager. Number 2, give your teen positive attention. Ask about their friends and how school went. Attend their events. Do activities together. Connecting with our loved ones is one of the quickest, easiest ways to boost our mood. Also, give them positive feedback as often as you can. They are surrounded by negativity, particularly if they're on social media and even at school, because many teenagers are struggling right now. And so think of positive compliments that you can send. Text them often. Sometimes I email my daughter pictures from when she was a child and we reminisce. While they may not always respond the way that you hope they will, don't stop doing the things that you know are important because your teenager is being a teenager. One of the best things that I have done is we started doing a parent teen night in January when my second child became a teenager. We set aside half an hour on Sunday evenings after our 2 youngest went to bed to spend some time together, the 4 of us, my husband and I and our 2 teenagers. We've watched movies and shows, we've talked about things, but I quickly realized that decision fatigue was a big deal. And so I started ahead of time to collect things that we could do together. And I decided to put those on my website in my membership area. I'm collecting TED Talks and YouTube videos, activities, games, all sorts of fun things that you can do with your teen for a parent teen night. We have learned about crushes. We've talked about how not to take things personally. We've drawn cartoon characters. We've listened to beatboxers. We learned about how you can turn a paper clip into a house. My son loved that one through trading. And we've just really had a lot of fun connecting on Sunday evenings. I highly recommend it. They love it when I make a snack. So I don't do this every week, but sometimes I'll pick something up from the store or make something special. One of my favorite combinations is popcorn and orange Julius. We had this often when I was a child, and so every time I make it, it reminds me of my childhood. The quick and easy recipe is 6 ounces of orange juice concentrate, a cup of milk, 1/2 cup water or more for a thinner smoothie, a 1/4 cup of sugar or monk fruit or another sugar substitute, a teaspoon of vanilla, a cup of ice, and 5 to 6 drops of orange essential oil. This can really boost your immunity. It can act as a detoxer, and it lifts your mood. I will put the recipe in the comment section for you. Number 3, have clear and fair rules and boundaries. I know this seems a little counterintuitive because teens do not like rules and boundaries. They like to do whatever they want. But knowing what to expect can really make a big difference in your happiness level, especially if your rules are fair. It is important to choose some things that you feel are non-negotiable and let your teen know that these things are non-negotiable, especially things that have to do with your teen's safety. But then listen to your teen, which is my next tip, and let them come up with some of the consequences as well. So listen to your teen. Another thing that creates happiness is to feel valued and important and to feel like our opinions matter. So take the time to stop lecturing and don't talk to or at your teen and listen to what they have to say, even if it's 30 minutes of them talking to you about the video game that they are playing. Number 5 is to establish some fun family traditions. Traditions really bind a family together and they can give us things to look forward to. They also can help us remember good times when we are feeling stressed or anxious. My teen is super big on things that are nostalgic right now. And sometimes I will come downstairs and see her watching an old cartoon or listening to music that we listened to as a child, when she was a child. Number 6, help your teen take care of their physical health. When we do not take care of our bodies, it is challenging to be emotionally healthy and to experience happiness on a regular basis. Maslow came up with a hierarchy of needs in the 1940s and suggested it's hard to meet the needs at the top when you are not meeting the needs at the bottom. Notice there at the bottom, we have food, water, and sleep, which is something that teens often struggle with. I know that you can't make your teen do these things, but you can influence it by setting curfews. You can take away their screens at bedtime. Our teen has to have her stuff turned into our room by 10 p.m. So even if she stays up, at least she's not on screens, right? You can also have healthy snacks, like we talked about earlier. Make family meal a priority. Just take the time to make sure that your teen is aware of their physical needs and that they are taking care of it as best they can. Number 7, teach your teen to set goals. Sean Acorn, The Happiness Advantage, teaches that happiness comes when we are growing, learning, and working towards something. We aren't meant to just sit around and take up space, no matter what your teen thinks. While you certainly can't make your teen set and work toward goals, just like you can't make them do any of the other stuff that we've talked about, there are things that you can do to encourage them to work towards something. You do not have to call it setting goals. They may push back against that, but you can talk about the things that you've noticed as they've learned and grown through maybe extracurricular activities. You can talk about things that they want to get done or goals that they have, such as getting certain grades or getting into a college. So get creative and help your teen learn the joy of progressing and improving. 8, help your teen discover your strengths. This kind of goes along with number 7. How can your teen positively impact the world around them? What are their strengths? What are they good at? How can they use those strengths to either move into a career or to volunteer? I have a fantastic list of 230 talents that is free in the file section of my group, Raising Inspired Teens. A good activity would be to sit down with that list with your teen and have them circle the things that they feel like they are good at. You could also use a different color and circle the things that you have noticed are strengths or talents for your teenager. Number 9, give your teen opportunities to serve others and to show kindness. These 2 things give us a major boost in happiness that can last up to a week. There's a cute quote that says, happiness is like jam. You can't spread even a little without getting some on yourself. Do kind things as a family. Point out opportunities and ways that your teen can serve others. Write thank you notes. Make treats and take them to a neighbor. All of these things can give your teen a boost of happiness. Make sure that you don't make noticing these things a part of it. Your teen has to learn to notice other people's needs. And by pointing them out, you will start to teach your teen this, but don't label them as selfish or make them feel guilty if they are thinking more about themselves and not noticing what other people need. Finally, practice gratitude together. We can add a lot of joy to our lives by being grateful for the things that we already have. One of the things our family does sometimes is at dinner, we each go around the table and talk about either 3 good things that happened or 3 things that we are thankful for. You can buy your teen a gratitude journal that they could write in, write thank you notes, tell them things that you are grateful for about them as a teenager, and ask them things that they are grateful for. So to conclude, pick one of these things this week, one of these 10 things, and put some effort into really working on it. Let me know what it is in the comments section of this post. If you've enjoyed this presentation and want to connect outside of Hub 10, once again, my name is Rochelle Sorensen. You can connect with me on Facebook in my group, Raising Inspired Teens, or you can email me at rochelle@theinspiredteen.com. Happiness takes effort. It is a skill that we learn, and it's a skill that we can teach our teenagers. There are many, many little habits that we can create that will give us happiness on a consistent basis. If you do this yourself and are a happier parent and then teach your teen to do the same, it will impact your teen's life immeasurably.